Two really entertaining games. Both had some exciting plays. So the fans that came out and watched the game got treated to two, like I call them playoff games. I mean, the first one was a little different because we got up 4-0, and then the next thing you know, we're in overtime, and you see a penalty shot, which you don't see very often in our game to end the game. And so everybody that was rooting for the Badgers went home Saturday night feeling pretty good, and then Sunday's game, both teams played well. Obviously, there were scoring opportunities, but both goaltenders played well. And it was an early 1-0 game in the third period. Ended up being 3-1, and so good competition, good games. I thought we played probably better in Sunday's game, the game we lost, than we did in Saturday's game. But no, it's just 4 good games. The 2 games up in Minnesota were good the previous weekend, and then against the #1 team in the country. Prepares us for what we're going to get into this weekend, because the playoffs are right here, and now you have to address that and get yourself ready, knowing that if you're successful, you get another game and another weekend. If you don't, then you're watching.
How do you guys feel about the matchup, having Minnesota State coming here?
Well, I like where we're playing right now. It's more so of how we're playing and where we are at this particular juncture. And we talk about trying to play our best hockey at this time of the year. And I look at the 4 last games that we've played against really good opponents, I think we're where we need to be right now. And now it's managing the nerves and getting yourself excited to play a playoff game. And it's a nice thing about being at home and being a little comfortable in this setting, which helps us out. So we're in a good place, we're in a good space, and now we just have to go out and continue to play at the level that we've played at the last 4 games.
Is this the best time of the year?
For us, it is, yeah. I mean, as I was telling Brian earlier this morning, I can reflect on the season when this season's over, and you just dial in, because it's really a 2-week tournament, and so everybody's back at the starting gate. Everybody has 0 losses and 0 wins, and now who can win 2 games? And if you're able to do that, then you get to go the following week up to Minneapolis, and you play 2 games up there. If you're successful, you win a trophy. So, and then you get a free ticket to the NCAA tournament. So there's a lot to play for. It happens quickly, and that's the fun part about it. So to answer your question, it's a great time of year, playoff hockey.
Could any team beat any team in this conference tournament?
Well, I mean, you look at the depth we have, and so, right now St. Cloud's playing extremely well. They're coming off a couple of victories. They have to travel to Duluth, and so, it'll be a good matchup for them. I'm sure they're excited for an opportunity to maybe go in and win a couple games. Mankato's feeling the same way. Minnesota and Ohio State, they're playing, the 7th and 8th seeded teams, but at this time of season, especially with the goaltenders that are in our league, anything can happen. And, if a team comes in and wins the first game, then, put some pressure on the team that lost, because, if you lose that second one, you're going to be watching, and nobody wants to be watching next week. So, but that's the excitement about the playoffs, and so the players get excited. Everybody's, probably playing their best hockey of the season, and everybody's in a position to move on. And unfortunately, only 4 teams get to move on.
Any advice for any of the younger players that are going to head onto this big stage, and how do you feel like they'll handle it?
Yeah, I mean, what happens between the ears is what they have to learn, and they're going to get experience this weekend. But, the 4 games that we've just played, I mean, if they're able to compete in those games, and they were able to do that, and they were successful in a bunch of those matches, just do the same thing. I mean, you don't have to play any better. You don't have to get yourself so excited that you end up coming on the ice and having heavy legs. It's just it's really in their minds, and in my mind, it's another game. It's just the magnitude of the game has increased, and so our thing is to continue to play the way we've been able to play the last 4 games. If we're able to do that, that's going to give us a real good chance to be successful.
And another honor for your freshman. It seems like it's kind of a weekly thing with this group. As far as Vivian goes this year, kind of where have you seen that growth, and maybe what area of the game do you think, really maybe taking that nice step as the season's going on?
I think with a lot of the younger players, it's how quickly they can build with their confidence. I mean, they're coming in, they have skill, they have talent, they just don't have experience. So as they gather experiences, whether that experience is good or whether it's hard experience, where everybody's going to go through that, especially the younger players, and then how can I develop and how I can continue the process? Can I keep working hard? And all of a sudden I start doing those, and then I go in games that maybe I'm a little bit nervous, but my confidence is up, and I have a good game, and then I get an award and I start feeling good about myself. That builds their confidence. So I think everybody within our squad is in that position right now that they're pretty confident because of what we've been able to accomplish the last couple of weekends here, and then you just build on it and continue to try to work at your game and continue to do the little things that put you in that position. And so for the younger players, the thing that I'm most impressed with, they've grown. And so you look at where they were in September and October. You look at how they, transitioned through the stretch that we had in January where things weren't going well as far as wins and losses. And now they've come out of that in the last 2 weekends. They've showed that they can play at a higher level, that they've gotten better. The experiences that they had, both good and bad, has helped them grow as individuals, not only on the ice, but off the ice as well. And so that's a real, feather to those kids that they trust the process. They're pushing themselves through some adversity, and they're coming out of it now playing their best hockey that they've played for us.
What do you personally enjoy about this time of year?
I think the coaches, well, we like competition, and a lot of us have played at a real high level, and you miss that competition, and the next best thing is to coach to get that competition back. And so our season's long. We started in early September, and we just finished last weekend, and so this time of year, everything's on the line. If you play well and you win, you move on to that next adrenaline rush or that next opportunity to get some competition. So everybody's dialed in, everybody knows who they're playing, and so the coaches go back into their caves and figure out what they need to do to have success, and share it with their team and practice with their team. And then Friday we drop the puck and here we go. And so that competition, I think, what brings the best out of the players, and it certainly creates excitement for coaches too, because that's the next best thing to playing.